Well, a suit that was instituted on a Friday, but also came to light on Sunday, and is that of Serap, seeking to stop those already in the Senate, the 10th National Senate, or the 10th Senate rather, and also some that are already ministers from collecting double pay. Well, anyway, as much as it pays us to talk about it, we always would want to say that we enjoy doing more of the discussion that concerns the country every weekday. So in case you're joining us, it's the quest today, and the big story is what we're looking at. But anyway, as much as we're looking at the big story, it's also right we go get message from our sponsors. We're talking about Benita Gas, located right here in Ughelli, Okokoko, and Warrior and Environs. And when we come back, more discussion centered on the big story for today.
Oh, yeah, follow the road, auto better quality. If you dey talk gas matter, oh, yeah, follow Benita. Gas with the better quality, Benita gas where they full rich man. Na Benita gas. Delivery brother na sharp pal. Benita gas. For Benita gas, no mango. Na Benita gas. Different type of gas cylinder. Benita gas. Gas we go last you well. Na Benita gas. Beneta now do Beneta gas service in a them they run Beneta make you carry go
for gas matter and home delivery, make you wire Beneta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Beneta gas plant, the tequile of gas matters.
Well, if it truly matters to you, you do know that quest today and the big story is truly big and can accommodate all your businesses. So just come over and let's see how we can talk business. But anyway, we're still talking about it, and the business of governance and the business of the day we're having today is the suit instituted by Serap, especially on Friday, they're seeking to stop senators, the ex-governors, from collecting those largesse from their different states and also enjoying those that should naturally come to them as being senators. Many will say, well, is it quite timely for such a call? But we've had series of such suits being instituted by Serap. But how many of them have come to conclusion, and how many of them have compelled the federal government or those also taking or being put in the suit to take a redress and also to change the narrative? It's another major question. But anyway, we still have him as a member of the Society for Good Governance and Democracy in Nigeria. And I'm talking about no other person but Emeka Owokocha. Mr. Emeka Owokocha, let's look at it, because with that very suit, first on the line of the suit, according to Serap, would be that of the Senate President himself. And we're talking about Gospel Akpabio, but if we take our minds back to the 13th day of June 2023, looking at his acceptance speech, the Senate President said he will carry on his role in fairness and in utmost dedication and integrity. And I called on to Nigerians to understand that they should make sacrifices, especially with the present situation of things. But anyway, I'm only forced to ask, talking about sacrifices, many will ask, what of them? Are they not ready to make that sacrifice and let these largesse coming from their state as pensions go? Now, my question is, do you feel it will totally erode the trust we have on public officials? I know your answer will be yes, but as much as you feel that, is it not a mockery of how the situation we find ourselves now, and just telling us, come on, yeah, those sacrifices should come, but Nigerians should take it? And as much of a question, my second question is, what will this really have on, or rather its impact on those in the state, if they keep dosing out such monies and having little or nothing as it concerns internally generated revenue?
Mr. Mike, would I rephrase that Nigeria is a democratic government?
Well, it is.
Constitutional democracy?
Yes, good. 99 as amended.
See, I have said that as same persons would behave in same climes. Let's assume the Senate President or the National Assembly acted in error. They were not averse with the laws. Let's assume, because there's always, a kind of, leverage, for somebody to express the reasons behind his action. Let's assume they are not adverse with the law. But is it not open now that that particular, law, act approved by the State National Assembly, is in conflict with the Constitution?
Yes.
Now, obviously, do we even need to cry? Do we even need to shout for whoever that has committed this heinous crime as it is, to hands up and say, I am sorry? Because for you to sit there as the Senate President, it's expected that you must be the custodian of the rule of law. I think what Nigerians should be calling now, when that case goes to the court, the judiciary should give it expert attention. And as soon as that case has been decided, and whoever has been indicted or is seen committing that crime or that malfeasance, as I may call it, will be called to do what? To drop that immediately, because Serap is asking that if they have collected those monies, they should return same to the state treasury. So if they refuse to do that, the onus lies on Nigerians to do what? To rise up and speak to them that we elected you to serve us. We own the government, please. We didn't say go there and kill us. We didn't say go there and run our government aground. Leave the seat. It's not difficult for Nigerians to do. So that is the answer on one hand. Coming to the implications.
Impact
of
this last
I have told you. Let me take Akwa Ibom case as a case study. Going by MBS statistics in 2022, 71% of the population of Akwa Ibom is 5.451 estimated by the Nigerian Population Commission, are extremely poor. Now, in your right senses, Mr. Mike, like I do tell you that if the people actually understand what governance is all about, if they understand, if the 71 million Akwa Ibomians understand what governance is all about, would they not be, do they even need Serap to institute a case at the High Court before, when as soon as the State Assembly endorses that act, it's enough to incur the wrath of the people by way of telling them to drop it, because we elected.
But we had public debates, public hearing.
Mr. Man, public debate in this country. Let me tell you, I have always yearned to attend public debates that will see to the enactment of bills in this country. How are the public, who goes to the public debates, and where are the public debates conducted? I'm in Warri. You are having a public debate in Asaba. I don't have a job. I can't access Asaba. So what would make you not to take the public debate around the constituencies, where the common man can easily access the debate and make his contribution? Don't mention public debate. These things,
because that's where they will lie. They will say it's not them that made such law, but the state national assembly.
Nigerian citizens had an input into the laws being made. Public debate. How?
Public hearing.
How can you hear the situation? How many places did you go? It's expected to go through the constituencies, through of us, to give it the total input of the citizens, because we own the government. That is why we must participate, and we must make an input in whatever, any laws you are making for our own betterment. We should be able to contribute. That's the essence of it. So the impact, the consequences are huge. I have just mentioned Akwa Ibom. In all the 22 states that have approved those life pension, very obnoxious, embarrassing pension schemes for their ex-governors, take the statistics of these states. Some of them cannot even pay their wage bill. Some cannot even pay, not even many, cannot even pay the pension accumulated allowances or whatever. But you deem it appropriate. Not even deem it. Do you know what happens? Like in the case of Akwa Ibom, if you read in between the lines, before, they reviewed that act. It was reviewed. How was it reviewed? He lobbied. Who did he lobby? Another members of the National Assembly who are there for their own personal aggrandizement, for their own personal good. Ordinarily, are they telling me in their own conscience, would they say it is right for the governor to go home with those like this when the ordinary citizen cannot afford 10,000 naira a month. So what are we talking about? So these guys are aware of what is happening. They know. They're only testing the wit of the citizens. They want to know if citizens actually understand that they are stakeholders in this project called democracy and in this project called governance. But if we want to tell them that we are not partakers, we do not have a stake, then they will run the affairs of government roughshod, and that's exactly what we have seen.
Let's look at the impact, because we're talking about the cost of governance, and it has always been on the front burner of discussion in most recent time, especially with this present government trying to balance the books. But let's look at the Nigerian debt jumped about 75% in the last 3 months, and it hit about 87 trillion. And it's largely not because of fuel subsidy, which has naturally been stopped, but rather on servicing some of our debt, and largely on recurrent expenditure as it concerns government paying for public office holders and other public issues. And my next question is that now, if this government is planning to really balance the books as they say they would, don't you feel a look at the cost of governance is something to look at? Because why I'm asking so, this present administration has 48 ministers, one of the largest we've ever had, and yet we're talking of balancing the books. Should the cost of governance not also be brought in to see how much they can reduce our spending and also cut down on our huge borrowing profile that seems to be the order of the day?
You see, when I analyze the president's speech, Democracy Day speech,
yes,
where very beautiful laid out speech he presented to Nigerians.
Yes.
Nigerians are always, are wishing for the good of this country.
Yes.
And Nigerians have actually paid their dues. They are doing the best. They are even standing in the gap to ensure that this country survives and goes to, moves to the next, as we call it, right?
Yeah,
the next
level.
Good.
Yeah.
He did make very wonderful assertions. He presented himself as a man who actually understands the suffering of the people, which he acclaimed, and he still presented himself as a man who is ready to actually take Nigeria out of the woods. Good. He did make very laudable statements. Nobody is bigger than anybody. There's no small man. It's going to be based on equality. And when I look at that section, that's where I just smiled.
Equality.
I smiled. Do you know why I smiled? I said, if truly the president would actually haven't made this statement, acting it out, they said, practice what you preach. Coming in the open, in practice, to say, okay, I really want to, implement all this. He will start with the National Assembly. I would have seen him.
But would that not draw a battle line?
Go to battle, Mr. Mike, now. That office you are holding is a sacrificial office.
But what if the executive rather takes it on themselves to cut down on special advisors, to cut down on entourage, cut down
He will start with himself. Because right-thinking individuals like you and me would actually know that the country is sinking. You don't need international analysis. You don't need business day
ratings to really give you a mindset of what's happening.
Sinking. Yeah. Today, I saw your analysis, paper analysis, where 1 kg of gas
is now 1,200 naira.
1,200 naira, Mr. Mike. And this is the same kg I bought 4 months ago at less than 700 naira, Mr. Mike. So these are signals, these are indices to tell you that all is not well with this great country called Nigeria. Now, the president at this time, Mr. Mike, you almost lies on him to save this country from this quagmire. Because the country is slipping. This country is skating on eggshells. So dangerous that I don't even need to come in to begin to tell him. He knows. But doesn't have the political will. Because for you to come out and present to say that I want to be president, you know what that means? That I am coming to solve your problems. That I am coming to teach towards the people. Because it is people-centric. Because the government belongs to the people, not the bourgeois. The bourgeois were elected. I elected you. That I elected you. Have I done anything wrong? I elect you, come and serve me. Where have I erred now? That you turn things around using the instrumentalities of government, the police, the DSS, all of them, to turn it against the unarmed citizens. That's exactly what is happening now. Then you are becoming Lord to the citizens. You are supposed to serve me. I have elected you, gave you everything, a monument salary, fast salaries. In short, I make you live like angels on earth. And yet you are not satisfied. So what else are you looking? Is it my head you are coming for now? I should be asking, because what is happening in this country is enough for Nigeria to rise up and just ask the leader, what are you truly after? We have given you everything you need. Not minding how impoverished we are. You are the most highly paid across the world. We are not even bothered. You go about with all manner of escort, all manner. We don't even bother. Then the person will ask you, what is your problem? Can't Nigerians begin to ask their elected? Because the true Nigerians are me and you, who do not want this country to slip away into chaos. But what we are doing here now is a rescue mission. Because I am speaking truth to fact, so that they will change from their ways, so that this country will not slip into precipice. I am not the true Nigerian now. I'm the best patriotic Nigerians you can see. Not those within, the corridors of power, who don't even care about what Nigeria will become tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, they believe that when Nigeria, eventually slips into a change, they will run out of this country, which is not supposed to be. They are supposed to be what? The burden bearers. They are supposed to be the people who should be thinking for us. But what we are saying now is a travesty of that institution called governance.
Okay, so I'll plead with you. We're not slipping away, but rather going on a break for now. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion, all centered on that recent suit by Serap seeking or compelling the needed authorities to put a halt on the double pay of serving senators who were ex-governors. And not just only that, but also to make them accountable for the money they've collected, and also compel them to return it as a need for public trust. Let's go on break.